Hi, good morning, good afternoon, Nature Sunshine. How's everybody doing out there? This is David Villaseñor from Nature Sunshine's corporate office. I'm excited to be here with all of you. I see a lot of you are connecting. So we'll give it just a little bit here, a few more seconds while everybody's getting in. I see the webinar attendees connecting, so good to be with all of you this morning. And of course, many of you already know, if you have any questions or comments or anything throughout the presentation, if you want to make a comment or ask a question, just use the little dashboard on the side there and type in your question throughout any time during the presentation, and we can answer some of those questions as they come up. So looks like we're still getting a few more trickling in here, so bear with me, and we will get started shortly. All right, well, I'm hoping everybody's having a great morning, great afternoon, and if you're just joining us, again, my name is David Villaseñor from Nature Sunshine's corporate office, and today we're going to be talking about a roadmap, what a roadmap should look like in the sense of as you move along through your Nature Sunshine, through your IN.FORM journey. There are certain steps, as I'm sure a lot of you as coaches on the webinar today are familiar with, that you have a journey, a product journey, and then also there's this journey as you understand how to, or what IN.FORM is as a potential business. And so the goal on today's webinar is to just show a little bit of how we can bridge the product discussion and the business discussion. And so that's really what I'm going to focus on throughout the webinar today, is really understanding those steps and the process of going through IN.FORM and understanding both the product and the business. Okay, so a couple of things to keep in mind here as we move forward. You'll want to make a note that we're really going to be focusing on three areas: having a success formula. What that formula looks like for everyone, it's different because we all have a different goal or meaning, understanding of what success means to me, for example, is very different than what it might mean to someone who's doing this as a part-time. So again, those are things to keep in mind, but having a success formula is key. And so what we'll discuss today is really having those basics, those fundamentals. And then determine the activity. What activity do you need to put into place in order to be successful, in order to have or create that success formula? What activity needs to go into place? Because it's not just about the planning, it's about the action, the activity that you put forth. And last but not least is creating a 90-day plan. This is one of the best ways to really look at your business, and this is also the way that in the case of IN.FORM, for example, it's a 13-week program, and that's by intention, right? It's a 90-day cycle. So it really helps when you can look at everything from that perspective, planning out 90 days. And there's a lot of insight in that, and a lot of research has been done that it usually takes 90 days in order to really try something out, in order to really see if it's working or not. So keeping consistent and creating those 90-day cycles, once you've understood and learned what is effective for you and for your business or for your goal, whatever that might be, then thinking in 90-day plan activity is very key. So we'll go through that today. I do want to point out that we have the PDF, this presentation has been PDF'd, and it's in the handouts under the dashboard. So it's, of course, titled 6617 IN.FORM Coaches Webinar. Melanie made a comment here, might be having some trouble downloading. You should be able to download that now. Let me know if it's a go. Send me another note and let me know if that's still not working for you, Melanie. Nice to have you on here. All right, perfect. So let's get started. As I mentioned, you have the ability to type in your questions or make any comments throughout the presentation, so please feel free to type those in there for me, and I'll get to them as soon as I see them pop up. All right, so as we go through the discussion today, what I've done is broken it down into 3 steps. So this is going to be step 1 of starting in that journey, right? Becoming a coach, or even in the case of someone who's just getting started with IN.FORM, what can be expected in the first step, or we could say in the first 30 days, right? One of the things that you really want to focus on, and this is a lot of you experienced, seasoned coaches out there really know that it's really important to set the goal, right? What is the intention for this new participant that's coming in? Or if you're starting off as a new coach, what is it that you want to achieve? But first and foremost, there are some very basic key fundamentals here. You'll want to become a product of the product. And so you hear a lot of us say that out there. I'm sure a lot of you coaches know exactly what I'm talking about, that in order to really experience Nature Sunshine, to really experience the effects of the program, you have to take the product yourself to really understand it so that you can later share that experience and work with others in helping them achieve the results. So know what you want and why. So using those products and understanding the products in order to achieve results. So learning the program. Now, I myself recently went through a full 13 weeks of IN.FORM, and I'll tell you, there were certain things, despite I had heard testimonials and people's stories and working with a lot of you coaches out there on what can be expected, I had my own share of things that I experienced. You know, during that first week of eliminating grains and sugars, there's definitely a change in your moods and how you feel, and that's normal, right? That's to be expected. But for everyone, it's a little bit different. But unless you experience that, then as you work with someone else and help them get results, it's so much more beneficial to you to have had that experience. So using the products, knowing what products do what is very key. And that really, what that does is create the experience, the product experience, because now you can talk to it. Now you can talk about the protein shake flavors. You can talk about the berberine, the probiotics. If you introduced maybe Ultratherm to get you through that first week of changing mood. Again, these are all things that you'll learn from using the product and being a product of the product. And of course, you want to start developing this testimonial, this incredible story that will help you share it with others. Now, this is why a coach is so important, because the coach is going to help you work through all of this to learn the program, to learn the product. The modules have been set in such a way to keep that weekly accountability there. The bio tracker is one of those tools. So these are things that as a coach you already know, and I know a lot of you on the webinar have this down perfectly, right? You understand it, you've been through it a couple times, so you know exactly, as you're working with your participants, what you might expect. So, but that's an important step. The other part is, and this is where we start to bridge what's happening in those first 30 days, and that step 1 is also starting to think about what other benefits come with becoming a Nature Sunshine member, right? We've talked about as you sign up as a member, there are significant benefits that could be more financially beneficial to someone. And for instance, retail, right? You're able to purchase product at a discount. And this is one of the 5 ways you could say that Nature's Sunshine pays. That's one of our benefits from the compensation plan, is that you have the ability to purchase product from Nature's Sunshine at a discount and then retail it, right? So there is an opportunity for you to make a profit or just to get a discount. The other is in our rebates. And really what our rebates do is give you a return on your personal purchases. So depending on the amount that you purchase in a given month, Nature's Sunshine will pay you a rebate. So you'll get a percentage back at the end of every month. And so that's something, again, a lot of people are surprised that they get that in the mail, that they get a rebate, but it certainly is a nice thing to have. And probably one of the best things here, and I would say not probably, but I think this is one of the best parts of the compensation plan that as coaches, as Nature's Sunshine members, you can really take advantage of this Smart Start bonus. And we can't really say it enough and really just talk about what the Smart Start bonus does, because it really creates that opportunity for you to, whether you're working with a participant or whether you're working with a new customer, maybe not even within the IN.FORM system, but keeping Smart Start in the back of your mind as you're working with new people and signing them on and encouraging them to put an order in, there is an opportunity for you to make some income. And so here are some quick bullet points on Smart Start. And keep in mind that we say 30 to 40%. 30% is on the Smart Start. That applies if you have the classic compensation plan. And 40% is for anyone on the legacy plan. And so the Smart Start bonus is paid on every new sign-up order that is anywhere between 100 and 300 QV. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind. So, for example, the IN.FORM system kit fits perfectly here because that's 200 QV points, right? So you would, in the case of, if you were on the legacy plan, you would receive an $80 Smart Start bonus return on that. So the other benefit is that they are paid weekly on the first 300 QV points on a qualified sign-up. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind, that you'll get a weekly payout on that. All right, and so I think this might here. So this diagram here shows you exactly what the classic payout for Smart Start is. So classic versus the legacy, right? It's a special payout. Again, you have to be a new member signing up, and you get that 30% on the classic, 40% on the legacy. In addition to that, your upline, or you as an upline, if you teach other people to use the Smart Start, you will also be paid a percentage on that order. So there is a benefit to having people in your organization also promoting the Smart Start bonus, right? So on the classic, we pay out a total of 50%. So 50% of that order goes back to the field, and on the legacy plan, it goes. It's a full 60% that gets paid out on that order. So certainly a lot of benefits, and really just having this as a tool to present to someone that, whether you're coming in new as a participant or as starting as a new business, keeping this in mind. And so how would you use this in the case of starting an IN.FORM program or if you're working with a new participant who might say to you, well, I really want to get started with an IN.FORM system kit, but unfortunately $240 seems high for me at this time. And so one of the options that you have here is presenting the Smart Start program, right? How many people, perhaps if you know one more person who would be interested in learning this with you, in doing the program with you, if they buy an IN.FORM system kit, you'll get an $80 credit, right? So those are ways that you can work using the Smart Start bonus to really incentivize and work with those people to, number one, get product in their hand, and number two, to also get referrals, right? To start using the network and talking to more people through something like the Smart Start Smart Start bonus program. The next step is really, again, this is another area that you really want to, as you're moving through, let's say, going past the 30 days and you're moving into the next 60 days of being in IN.FORM and you're working through the program, one of the things that's really key here is learning more about the products and really understanding the microbiome and how we talk about the microbiome and how important that is for someone getting started. So, when you're going through the modules, you're definitely seeing the understanding the meal plan, understanding what not to eat, what to eat more of, what can be expected, and so that's all great. But understanding really from the perspective of the microbiome itself, right? That's something that you want to really understand by the next 60 days or as you're moving through your journey here, is really understanding the microbiome and the power of the microbiome. We have a lot of videos. There's a full 8-minute video on the Nature Sunshine YouTube channel that you can watch that's very informative, that gives you some key information. There's also a lot of there's some PowerPoint information out there that we have that really explains all of the key statistics, the clinical studies, the results, and this really emerging trend and the power of the microbiome. So really understanding what we have at hand and what we are working, how that really helps to be able to talk about the products, to share with someone. So those are things that you'll really want to understand by this time. And really what also helps is that, if you have access to the IN.FORM coach certification or through your IN.FORM coach, they can also answer a lot of questions when it comes to understanding the meal plan, understanding the all of the intricacies of what the product and the relationship to the microbiome and the effects of that, what all of that will have. Okay, the other part is, by this time, 30 days, going into the next 60 days of your IN.FORM program, you're definitely seeing some results. You're having some changes. People are asking, what are you doing? They're noticing that you're not eating bread, that you're not having grains, and you're staying away from sugars. So naturally, people start asking, what are you doing? We're naturally curious, right? We want to know what's happening there. And so this is where you really want to hone in on your story. How do you share your story with others? So learning not only to talk about gut health and the importance of that, but also your own personal testimonial of the journey that you're going through and the changes that you're seeing, the positive changes. Okay, so those are things that would be really key, really important to share. I'm seeing someone, let's see, there's someone here asking about the YouTube video, and actually I encourage all of you to go onto YouTube and then go to Nature Sunshine, and there's actually also an IN.FORM channel that you can access. So Just go onto YouTube and type in IN.FORM, and you will have access to all of those videos. We have a lot of those videos that you can also share. And we'll talk a little bit more later in the presentation when we talk about tools and we talk about how you can use them even through our Nature Sunshine app, which we just launched a couple months now at our convention. But again, these are really good resources to know about and to learn and use them. Okay, so this is also where you can have the conversation of becoming a coach. You want to learn more, you're interested, start seeking out those participants within your group who want to learn about what you do as a coach and how that might be something that they can take on. Okay, so that is step 2. So let's talk a little bit about that. What does it take to create a testimonial, right? And really, there are 3 key parts to a testimonial. You want to say, how did you feel before you started with IN.FORM? How do you feel now? And what products did you use? And this is so important because a lot of the times we get, if you don't have this template in mind of how to structure your testimonial, we tend to maybe be all over the place and not be precise and miss certain parts. So if you can keep that in mind, is how did you feel before you started IN.FORM? So you could say something like, I was always tired. After eating a meal, I always felt so heavy and tired and sleepy, and I just didn't have any energy. But now I have so much energy, I don't get tired. I'm sleeping a full 8 hours a night without waking up. And that's really because I've changed my eating habits, but I'm also taking these products. The berberine, for example, is helping me with this. Probiotics, and so then that's where you start to pull in from your experience with the products, which ones work for you. And so that's what you want to keep in mind. Now, I added here this diagram of the microbiome because there are so many parts. I know as IN.FORM coaches, you probably see weight as one of the more significant changes, or one of the things that most people are looking for, but there are so many other areas where people have a story to tell, where they have something to share to really let us know how these products made a difference, because it's really not about weight. It's not just about that. It's about achieving balance in your microbiome. And once you achieve that, all of these other areas see the benefits of it. There's something that happens, something that changes with your skin, your immunity, your blood sugar, hormonal, cardiovascular, neurological, respiratory, glandular, and of course we talked about weight, but even stress is a factor. Mood change is a factor for people. Some people, and that's all linked back to the gut, as we know, and as we learn through becoming an IN.FORM coach, that all of these things are all centered back into what we call the second brain, right? That all the science, that everything that this program was built on is and has been proven, right? That really, if we're not taking care of our diet, we're not taking care of our microbiome and feeding it, nourishing with what it needs, then we're going to have all of these issues. So keeping this diagram in mind, I think, is really helpful as you go through your own personal testimony and you start developing that. Think for yourself what parts from this diagram have really changed in your life in the last 60 days as you're going through your step 2 here, as just for the sake of this presentation. But think about that and develop your testimonial for that, and help others develop their testimonial as well around this area. So learning that is key, right? That is to be able to share your story with others, because people will inevitably be asking, what are you doing? What's changed? I'm noticing your skin is clearing up. So, I actually had someone tell me that not too long ago that I ran into, I ran out to grab a bite to eat, and I ran into someone that I hadn't seen in a couple of years. She happens to work down the street, and the first thing she said was, "Wow, your skin looks really good. What are you doing?" And so it just was an opportunity for me to tell her about our products, and of course this company that I work for. So again, knowing how to share your testimony is key. All right, so the other part to that, as we bridge that product education, bridging it with the financial opportunity and the financial benefits of becoming a coach. So you want to be able to understand for yourself and for your participants on what the benefits of becoming a coach consist of. So as we talked about in step one, really knowing how do you make money with retail, how do you make money with rebates, and how do you make money with Smart Start. So those three are fundamental here, because this is where you really want to start putting them in practice for yourself and with your participants, because this is the fastest way to get money into someone's pocket. And so while a lot of people, or most people that are coming to you, are looking for a health solution, there are people who are, could use an extra $100, $200, $300 a month, right? That goes a long way for some people, and we certainly have an opportunity. We have a great opportunity through the IN.FORM program, and while using these cutting-edge products, right, through a fantastic clinically proven program that's already in place. So again, this is where you want to start really focusing on learning those first components of the compensation plan. You don't want to overwhelm someone about the compensation plan or get into too many details, but you do want to show them where the opportunity is and what they can use to really start a business, to kickstart their business. And for some people, it might start as a one-on-one opportunity, right? And for others, they want to just dive into it and start running groups. Obviously, the more people that you're talking to, the more people that you're networking, the more people that you're getting on the products, the more or the faster you're going to see an increase in your residual income, in that income coming in, right? Because you're talking to more people, you're getting paid for people consuming those products. And so that's why running groups is probably the most effective way to do it, but you can certainly do it one-on-one and coach someone one-on-one and help them get results. So that is definitely an opportunity there. And make time. Understand that if you are going to do this part-time, and that if you are going to, or if you're wanting to just jump in and do it full-time, there is a time commitment. So there is something that you do want to think about, that how much time are you going to invest into this? If you're going to do a group, that normally will require a little bit of preparation in advance. The actual meeting time that you'll set for your group on a weekly basis, and it's a 13-week commitment. But even prior to that, there is the time that you spend learning to become a coach, to get certified as a coach. So there is that investment that you have to make, that commitment, and that really comes from, I think most of you would agree, having a passion for the products, having a passion for helping others. And so I think once you fully understand that, then I think here you really have the components and really are where you need to be in order to get started in getting your business going. Again, we call it a prospecting plan, or focus, just a way, call it however you want to call it. But as you make the decision in becoming a coach and doing this, maybe sharing it with others, then you want to focus on growing your customers. Who are you talking to? Who are your participants that you're inviting? Eventually, the vision is, of course, building a network of coaches and managers. Those managers, we'll talk in a little bit here as we move into the next or the next step, which is step 3. But really, those coaches that you're working with, and really getting them to the point where they understand and have been able to bridge the product with the business, and pitching both, right? That for some people, it's certainly about the product, but then there are those that we have an opportunity with to bring a financial solution to. Okay, and as I mentioned before, you can do this in a variety of ways. So you can have a one-on-one with someone, a sit-down. Perhaps it's very part-time for you, and you just want to share with someone and get them started on a Smart Start order, and then you follow up with them, or you work with your coach to help you follow up with this person and get this person results. That's where this 2-on-1 or 3-way calls is very effective. Don't be afraid to leverage the people that you're working with, the people that you know. Your coach is there to support you, to mentor you. So work with your coach to start developing those skills on how to talk to people about the product, how to talk to people about the business. So this is very, very important, very effective way. Again, don't be shy to, call us up at corporate office and ask about tools or ideas or what you could do to help work with your new prospects as you're talking to people. So putting that out there, right, is important. That is something that you can do and you should be doing. And then the third way is in-home presentations. Putting together a private presentation for somebody, maybe even finding or working with your mentor or with your coach to help you give a presentation. So this is where you could talk to several people, maybe bring in, invite a person to host an in-home presentation for you, and you come in and that person invites another 5 or 6 guests that they might have, right? And then you put together a presentation. We do have presentations online that you could use as a sample or create your own. But essentially, you're talking about the products. You're talking about what's exciting about our products, what's exciting about the microbiome, the benefits and the disadvantages actually of having an imbalanced microbiome. So all of that is really exciting, and there is some fascinating information. We have a lot of we have third-party validation. You have through working with your coach, you have brochures, you have information that you can share with others that really talk to this, to the science behind all of this. So again, keep that in mind as you're preparing your presentations, as you're working with your coach and your participants. Okay. And of course, the earning potential is going to depend on you. As I said earlier, success means something different for everyone. So again, it really just depends on what you want to achieve. And so, some of you have seen this document out there, the Give Me 5. It really just, it's a highlight of our compensation plan. For a more detailed explanation of our compensation plan, we have what we call the 5 ways Nature Sunshine pays, and it's complete with explanation, with also examples that will show you how you can earn an income, and that will cover, as I mentioned today, there's a Smart Start, there's your personal rebates, your group commissions, and your retail profits, and your manager overrides. So today I'm really only going to cover Smart Start bonus, personal rebates, and your retail profits. But for more information, you want to get more familiar with this document, the 5 ways Nature Sunshine pays, and that you can find under your resources. It's on the naturesunshine.com website under members and then business resources. And I'll check with Shandy. I believe we may also have it on the IN.FORM Coach portal, but I'll need to confirm that. But this is just one example of the Give Me 5, right? How you can use something like this to pitch to new people as you're working with them. You sponsor 3 new people with the Smart Start, as we had mentioned, and then this is an example for the Legacy, right? You would, with 3 people, you would receive a 40% return on the Legacy, and so what that would come out to is the 200 QV times 40% is $80 for each kit that you retail or that you sell through the Smart Start bonus. So 80 times 3, if you have 3 people, that's $240. So that's how you get your products for free, or you get an earning of $240. And it's that simple. That's really talking to 3 new people or inviting 3 new people to join you in the program. That's how you have an opportunity there. Now, if you were to just increase that to 5 people, that would put you at a manager status, right? Puts you at 1,000 QV, because that totals a total of $200, or 200 QV per person puts you at 1,000, and that's for an income of $440, right? That you're getting on that. So things to really consider here and get familiar with. So if anything, these 2 parts, as you're getting started, as you're working with someone, it's important that you get familiar with this concept of the Give Me 5, or just in general what that means, right? Using the Smart Start to generate an income. Okay, let's see here. Okay, and becoming an expert. So by step 3, this is getting close to, if not already completing, your 90-day program. So going through the IN.FORM program, as I mentioned, you really understand what the products do, how your body is changing, how you can relate to someone else who is going through the program. That will make you a much more effective coach. So completing your 13-week IN.FORM program is key, because that's really going to give you that experience, give you the knowledge, the first-hand knowledge of what it means to go through that program. Your results will speak for themselves. So even though I wasn't necessarily doing it for weight, but in my 90 days, I lost a total of 22 pounds. Okay, so that was noticeable for a lot of people, right? So they would ask me, what are you doing? And so the same thing is going to happen to you. And so you'll want to know how to speak your results, how to share the products, how to share the pitch around the microbiome. Okay, so those things are, by this time, you're really becoming an expert, because you're living it, you're experiencing it. So what you want to do now is really start working with your coach, with your upline sponsor, and really putting forth what your plan is going to be. What are you going to do within the next 90 days, whether it's go through IN.FORM again, or really set forth a plan to start a business. And so if you're not a coach yet, what do you need to do to become a coach? Get certified, start talking to people, and get started with running a group or working with one-on-one with the participant out there. We have everything that you need. We have available. We have the information. We have the education for you to become a coach. We have the product, which you know will help people achieve results. Okay, so these are all areas, and just continue to talk to as many people as possible and share your story, because that's really what's going to help drive the momentum. The more people that you talk to, the more people that will come to listen to a presentation, may or may not buy product, but at least you're getting the word out there and you're starting to drive and create some activity. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this this presentation, it's really about determining that level of activity. What's the activity that you're moving forward with? All right, and the multiple sources of income. So let's talk about that again. So we had the Smart Start bonus that we talked about, the retail profits, the rebates, and then as a manager, you start to earn a commission. So commission on what is happening within your organization, right? So this is really a little bit more in depth when it comes to the compensation plan. You know, it'll be helpful to really pull that 5 ways NSP pays document. And actually, if I get that here in the next couple minutes, I'll upload it to the dashboard. But really, what that does is really helps you understand as a manager how you're going to get paid. And there's a compensation and benefits summary. So you know, the overrides range depending on which compensation plan you're on. So if you're on the legacy, it's a certain percentage. If you're on the classic, it's another percentage. So this is also something that you'll want to discuss with your coach or with your sponsor, whoever you're working with, to help you in showing them the total benefits. But if you're serious about making money with IN.FORM, with Nature Sunshine, then your goal should be to become a manager as soon as possible. And so using those fundamentals, using the Smart Start, using the retail profits as a way to kickstart or get you to manager is what the fundamentals that you would need to implement and to learn in order to get you there as soon as possible. And of course, talking to people, sharing with people. So I can't say that enough. And so whether you do that one-on-one, whether you do that through groups, this is how you start to build a team of coaches. So once you have a team of coaches and you have managers, you are set. You are well on the path to prosperity with Nature Sunshine for whatever prosperity means to you. Again, it could be a part-time, it could be a full-time, it could be start off as a part-time and end up as a full-time. So it really just depends on what you want to take from this, what you want to take from the program. And yes, you know, it's certainly a great experience in helping others, and you will have some challenges along the way, as I'm sure any coach who has worked with many participants will very well tell you. But you learn to work through that, and that's another skill set that you also learn by doing this is how do you direct people to the right resources? Where do you pull the answers from? Who do you ask? What research do you need to do, or how do you direct another person? You know, someone might be struggling with an area of whether it might be the product or they're not exactly getting the results. Well, that's going to require some attention to, you know, specifically what are you eating on a daily basis? What are the times? Getting more in depth with that person is going to be key to help them achieve results. And that's your job as a coach, is to really do as much as you can to help them get the results that they're looking for. And so, you know, those are all areas that you can that would come with experience, with getting started, with working with your coach and developing that skill set. Okay, the last bullet here, incentive trips. You know, and I didn't put a lot of detail on this, but it's really another form of compensation within Nature Sunshine that, you know, we have an opportunity for you to earn incentive trips. I know a group is now getting ready to go to the Mediterranean. Basically, it's an all-expense paid vacation on Nature Sunshine, and so that's really something that you can, if that's your passion, if that's just traveling and seeing different parts of the world is what you want to do, you can certainly do that with us. We'd love to have you along, and you know, that's a much that's a bonus, right? To really share with all of your Nature Sunshine colleagues and IN.FORM coaches, and just go on a on an incredible experience together. So there are incentive trips, which you don't want to forget that is part of the compensation plan here, and so there's an incredible opportunity. All of this, so as we discussed about steps 1, steps 2, and step 3, we can call that a 90-day plan in the way that we've put it in these 3 buckets, and what that journey should look like for someone getting started, for someone experiencing the products. And so bridging the two, bridging the product with the business, and really working with those individuals to help them achieve results is really what we're here to do. And so it all comes back to getting yourself, helping yourself first, getting yourself healthy, getting the results that you want first. So focus on your health and sharing the same opportunity to empower others to transform, and you will see incredible things happen. All right, so I mentioned earlier there's the Nature Sunshine website, so I don't want to forget about mentioning that. So you have the Nature Sunshine website as a resource, and if you go under members and then business resources, there's a lot of information on there, including the 5 ways Nature Sunshine pays. Your IN.FORM Coach portal, don't forget that, right? You have access to that, a lot of information. You have an opportunity to check in on what promotions or submitting your groups or whatever we're promoting in that specific month. This is where you want to go as an IN.FORM coach and get familiar with training. That never ends here with Nature Sunshine. So we have webinar training such as this. We have regional trainings, right? So there's in different parts, like the Herbal Answers, which we just did a tour of. And so there are different areas where you can go to get information, to get education. Okay, and then our big events like our convention, right? That happens once a year. Our leaders conference also happens once a year. So these are all really good events that you want to keep your eyes and ears open to, and just really get to one, especially if it's close to you. You don't want to miss out on getting some great information that will help support you both in product knowledge, but then also in business knowledge. How do you use Nature Sunshine as a vehicle to get you on that path to prosperity? One of the ways that you can continue to get informed is through this new program, IN.FORM Immersion. And so it's being hosted by one of our top IN.FORM coaches, Linda Lalonde. She's from the Chicago area. And so it's really another, it's our IN.FORM coaches certification on steroids, you could say. So it's certification training that really will get you to where you need to be, what you need to learn that perhaps you're struggling with. So this is an area where those IN.FORM coaches out there will want to really get to this training and help you learn some of the skills that you need to keep your business going and running. So there are a few different dates here, and we have the information here. So you'll want to jot this down if you have a chance to. It's in Downers Grove, Illinois, just outside of Chicago, and it's happening on Friday from 6:30 to 9:30, and then Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the dates here are June 16th through the 17th, so it's a 2-day event. July 21 and 22, August 25, 26, September 15th through the 16th, and October 20 and 21. So you'll want to get registered by calling customer service. So dial into customer service at 1-800-223-8225 and get registered for this. So as we talked about, it never ends, right? We always have some training, because we can always learn and get better. All right, so this is an exciting IN.FORM cash bonus that we have going. Help people certify and start a group, and you earn $100. All right, so this is in addition to everything that we talked about today with smart starts and rebates and retail profits and manager overrides. So when one of your managers or members certifies as a new coach until June 30, from now until June 30th, and they start a group within 60 days, you'll receive a $100 cash bonus check. How awesome is that? I think that's a really great incentive to really kick your summer off. If you've got a couple of people in your group right now that you've got your eye on, that you're identifying is definitely on board to helping others and wants to become a coach, so now is the time to get them on, right? To get them going, because in addition to what the compensation plan already pays you, you have an incredible offer of an additional $100 for every new manager that or new coach that certifies from now until June the 30th. So, all right, keep that in mind. All right, here are the rules. I'll leave those up for a little bit here. Okay, so we got March 1st through June 30th that they have to become a coach. All right. Okay. So I think we've had this up before. So okay, we'll move on here. All right, June promo for starting your group. So again, all of this in addition to the existing compensation plan, right? Nature Sunshine continues to reward you and to really create that incentive, especially for starting a group with 5 or more people. So what's going to happen in the month of June if you start a group with 5 or more people? You're going to receive a $50 product credit plus a box of the new In.FORM Way chocolate samples, right? So you can use these samples for yourself or use them as samples for people to share, to encourage referrals, to really get the word out there about the products and how great they taste. By the way, if you haven't tried it, it's awesome. It's a great product. The whey protein vanilla is my personal favorite, but I would say coming in second is the whey protein chocolate, and then of course the pea protein. So anyway, so start a group with 5 or more new participants, and you get a $50 product credit plus the In.FORM Whey chocolate samples. If you reach 500 QV in weight management product sales in your group, you're going to get a $100 product credit, right? So that is an incredible incentive there. In addition to, if you have your 5 new people, you get an additional $50. So there's a total $150 product credit. Now reach 1,000. Remember, this is where I said that you could do this by inviting 5 people on Smart Start, 5 people to purchase a product of 200 QV. In addition to the $440, you'll get a $100 product credit plus the $150 and the $50, so that brings you to a grand total of $250 in additional prize money. Again, this promotion is only valid until the end of June, so really take advantage of it, and it's you don't want to let that opportunity go. 50% bonus on I.INSPIRE points for June. You know, this is again, we have so many exciting promotions, and this is just one that really gets you, helps you work towards those incentive trips that I talked about. So unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time, so I can only go through so much, but I encourage you, if you don't know about I.INSPIRE, get familiar with I.INSPIRE. You can find more information through our website, but also talk to your coach or your sponsor to get more information on I.INSPIRE. And really, it's a point system that really gets you, incentivizes you for the level of activity that you're doing. You have the ability to earn points within a certain period to earn to earn trips. So again, 50% bonus iInspire points for June. So you know, you don't want to let that go because you'll get some bonus points there in the month of June. All right, so we are coming up on 1 hour here. That went by really fast, but I want to leave maybe leave a minute, 2 minutes to answer some questions here. But before I do that, I want to talk about our June IN.FORM webinars. So on the 26th, we're going to be featuring the incredible Dr. Jay Van den Heuvel. He's awesome, has a lot of experience and knowledge, especially with our IN.FORM line of products and talking about gut health. He's very passionate about that. So we're going to be doing a free gut health webinar on June 26th. On June 27th, we're doing the Re-Engage with IN.FORM featuring Dale Scott. And this is really for those coaches who haven't held a group or who would like to get started again, have perhaps not done a group in some time. This is really about re-engaging and where do you get started for all of that. On the 28th, we're taking IN.FORM to the next level with the also amazing Judy Platna. Again, this is a seasoned, experienced coach that really you can ask questions and learn a lot from. So really mark those 3 dates on your calendar, the 26th, 27th, and the 28th. And it's for active coach. The one with Judy Platna is for active coaches who are ready to grow their groups and organization. And so we'll be sending out email information with how to, or the specifics on the webinars. So you'll want to get those. Okay, and so now I want to open it up for questions. We've got a little bit of time here, but I'd love to answer any questions. Let's see, I'm just browsing through these right now. We've got a couple on here. Can we use this presentation to get potential coaches interested, or are we not advised to do so? Absolutely, no, feel free to that's why we put the PDF on the dashboard for you so that you can follow, and then also if you want to share that with someone. But really get familiar with, I hope the intention of this webinar is to really create those 3 steps and, where you want to see yourself, or as you're working with your participants and your emerging coaches, where they should be along the journey and what they should be learning. And so I think for most coaches, just from the feedback that I've gotten, most coaches, you understand the products, you understand the program itself. Sometimes bridging that product with the business is a little bit of a challenge. So if there are certain milestones that you can achieve in your first 30 days, both product and business, and another couple of milestones in step 2 or by day 60, then by your 3rd step, you're well on your way to becoming an expert and to really take on the challenge, take on make the next step to becoming an IN.FORM coach and really starting your own business if that is what you desire to do, or help others in helping to educate and to spread the word. So these are all really good areas to kind of create these buckets that will help you just not make it as overwhelming as I know it can be sometimes, especially when it comes to the compensation plan. Okay, let me just give that information again about YouTube. So you would want to go to our YouTube channel and just type in, just go to YouTube and then type in IN.FORM, and you'll see the official Nature Sunshine channel. Hit subscribe to that, and that way it always pops up on your menu, and you can have access to. There's testimonial videos. There are some webinars on there, I believe, that have been posted for you to view, to have access to. There's also our new more video. It leans more on the opportunity. Joining Nature Sunshine is an opportunity. Again, these are things that you can share. our Nature Sunshine Tools app. So if you have a smartphone, NSP Tools is the app that you want to look for. Download the app and get familiar with it. You can share videos. It's very it's got so many resources and so many things that you can use. You can even categorize your contacts if it's a hot contact or if it's a cold contact. So you can especially this is useful when you're starting that step 2 in prospecting. As you're talking to people, you can really identify who the people that you want to talk to and who your potential future customers, future participants might be. So get access to those, and we will continue to support you and provide more tools out there and more of these webinars that will help you and support you in your business. So with that, I want to say it's been my pleasure to be here with you today and really share some of what I know and some of my experience here with all of you, and I hope that you've enjoyed this webinar. And I look forward to seeing you out at a convention or at an event coming up soon. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the day, and we will see you soon. Bye.